It is Friday, December 11. Welcome to CGN News. Vice-Chancellor of the University of the West Indies, Professor Sir Hilary Beckles, says Europe must end colonization in the region and honor its debt to the people. Beckles was discussing the poverty legacies of colonization at a virtual international panel last week. He reminded attendees that Europe's economic development was funded by a brutal and inhumane system of wealth extraction from the Caribbean, leaving the region impoverished. Europe, he said, walked away from its obligations after committing heinous crimes against humanity in the region, stripping it of its natural resources and enslaving its people. Beckles said that Europe's insistence on giving aid instead of economic development funding is reflective of an obsolete mentality that has no honorable place in the 21st century. The man who earlier this year launched an expletive-filled rant in a video against Jamaica's Prime Minister Andrew Holness about the introduction of an all-island curfew has been fined. The fine was imposed in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court on Wednesday against 37-year-old Dane Mitchell of a Penso Street, Arnett Gardens, St. Andrew address. He was ordered to pay $60,000 with an alternative of 90 days in prison for breaches of the Disaster Risk Management Act. Mitchell was seen in a viral social media video stating his refusal to comply with the order, which was imposed as part of the Holness administration's efforts to contain the spread of COVID-19 in the island. He was later found by the police hiding under a bed. The United States Department of State says 6 former members of the disbanded Crime Management Unit, the CMU, and their families are banned from that country for human rights violations. In a release to mark World Human Rights Day yesterday, the U.S. said it is using every tool to draw attention to abuses of human rights globally. Ex-policemen Devon Bernard, Renato Adams, Patrick Koch, Shane Lyons, Leaford Gordon, and Roderick Anthony Collier are banned from the U.S. for their role in a 2003 incident. In that incident, 4 persons were killed in a house in Clarendon by members of the CMU, led by then Senior Superintendent of Police Renato Adams. It was alleged that the 4 were killed in cold blood, and the cops were charged with non-capital murder. They were freed of the charges in December 2005. Bermuda's former Premier, Dr. Ewart Brown, could be facing corruption charges following a 9-year police investigation. The Royal Gazette newspaper quoted Brown as saying that the Director of Public Prosecutions intends to press charges. The CMC reports that Brown, who was Premier from 2006 to 2010, has been under investigation since allegations were made about him in the Supreme Court by businessman David Bolden. Bolden was eventually cleared of theft and money laundering, but found guilty of misleading the Bermuda Monetary Authority. Brown retired from politics when he stood down as Premier. The government of Bahamas has extended tax exemptions implemented to assist survivors of Hurricane Dorian who experienced rebuilding delays due to COVID-19 restrictions. The islands of Abaco and East Grand Bahama were declared special economic recovery zones in 2019 following devastation by the hurricane. State Minister for Finance Kwasi Thompson said the government decided to extend the tax relief measures to next year. This includes tax-free purchases of all locally bought and imported home furniture items and other homeware appliances. Local gas is also tax-free since many residents are still without electricity and use portable generators to electrify their homes. CaribShopper is providing a solution for merchants and homesick shoppers to shop for Caribbean goods online and receive them in reasonable time. Island treats like fruitcake, hard-dough bread, spiced bun, gizzarda, and maybe patties will be on offer. A new version of CaribShopper was launched in October with over 485 products, from food to health and beauty products available. The platform also allows customers to easily search and shop and is expected to launch in Canada this weekend. Launched in 2016, CaribShopper allowed consumers in Jamaica, Antigua, St. Lucia, Cayman Islands, and the Turks and Caicos to buy from United States retailers through partnerships with Amazon, eBay, and Walmart. U.S. President-elect Joe Biden and his running mate Kamala Harris have been chosen as Time magazine's Person of the Year in 2020. Quote, "The Biden-Harris ticket represents something historic," end quote, Time tweeted. The Democratic pair beat three other finalists, frontline healthcare workers and Dr. Anthony Fauci, the racial justice movement, and President Donald Trump, who lost the White House race. Time has been choosing the year's most influential person since 1927. Mastercard says it is ending the use of its cards on the pornography platform Pornhub after a review confirmed the presence of unlawful content. A New York Times investigation accused the site of being infested with child abuse and rape-related videos. Pornhub, which has denied the claims, called Mastercard's actions exceptionally disappointing. Fellow payments giant Visa has suspended use of its cards on the site pending the outcome of its own review. Mastercard launched its inquiry after journalist Nicholas Kristof named it in his New York Times article, saying he didn't see why search engines, banks, or credit card companies should bolster Pornhub. French President Emmanuel Macron gave his Egyptian counterpart Abdel Fattah el-Sisi France's highest award on his state visit to Paris this week, a presidential official has said. This adds to the controversy over the hugely contentious trip. Activists who had warned Macron not to roll out the red carpet for el-Sisi were already enraged by the French leader's refusal to condition deepening defense and trade ties with Egypt on its respect for human rights. Images of the ceremony emerged only after they were published by the Egyptian presidency. It was the Egyptian delegation that filmed the event. The award ceremony did not feature on the official agenda given to French reporters. China's aviation regulator has recommended cabin crew wear disposable diapers and avoid using the toilet to cut the risk of COVID-19 infection. The advice on diapers is in a section on personal protective equipment in new guidelines for airlines. The regulator said the recommendation applied to charter flights to high-risk COVID-19 destinations. Globally, airlines and airports have been making big changes to how they operate to get passengers flying again. The Civil Aviation Administration of China laid out its advice in a new 49-page set of guidelines for airlines to prevent the spread of coronavirus. That's it for CGN News. I'm Scott Wilson. Thanks for watching.